What is up, everybody? I am back with another interview. Finally, and we have Jonnie Rice, the heavyweight contender, the guy who beat Michael Coffey and upsetted him in one of 2021's biggest upsets. And he's ready to do it again on pay-per-view this time, January 1st. And yeah, overall, Jonnie, how is everything going so far, man? How's everything been?
Everything's going well, trying to stay motivated as always, trying to stay inspired, also trying to make sure I keep an eye on everybody else, lightweights, heavyweights, all of boxing, and just continuing to push myself. And that's all you really can do.
For sure, man. I get that. Jonnie, how has training camp been, man? I know, you just started, obviously, because the fight was announced just a few days ago, but, how's training camp been?
Well, training camp's been going good. I still been, like I said, I live the lifestyle of boxing. You know what I mean? People working 9 to 5, right? So, for
Mm-hmm.
me, boxing is the same way. You gotta train like that. It obviously the intensity varies, but you always got to be in the gym. Always got to have fun, get to know your craft. So training camp's been going good. It's a few things I really want to focus on a little bit more. So just constantly evaluating myself. But all in all, things been cool.
For sure. I definitely get that. Now, Jonnie, man, after let's take a step back to your last bout, man. I had my prediction out, man. I had you losing. I highly, yeah, man. I highly disrespected you, man. That's my fault on that. I didn't do my research because if we look back on your record, your only losses are to undefeated fighters. And that really shows something. You're out here fighting the best of the best. And most of those fighters that you lost to are still undefeated. But Jonnie, thank you for reaching back out and, correcting me on my prediction. But how did it feel main eventing a card? How did it feel main eventing a card? And what were your thoughts when you got that call to step in on short notice?
Well, first of all, it wasn't your fault for your prediction. I have not been. I hadn't stepped up and performed well. You know what I'm saying? So, you look at your box rec, that's what you see. That's what the numbers don't lie. It was just me trying to prove myself. So that wasn't nobody's fault. That's why it's an upset. A guy decides he gonna prove himself. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
But so I look at all criticism as constructive. But as far as the main event, I can honestly say, y'all, that it was unbelievable. Even leading up to the fight, the energy was different. I believe in all the energies, because energy is real. I couldn't even sleep the night before the fight. I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, why am I feeling so energized? The attention was really on me more than I realized because I thought I was just on Fox F1 or something like that. I didn't realize I was on Fox.
Uh
Like,
huh.
your grandmama got 4 channels and Fox is one of them. So that means everybody could see it. And I could
Yep.
really feel it to the point where I couldn't even sleep. Had no clue why. I thought I was just nervous or scared. Every fighter got to have courage to move past the fear. That don't mean it ain't there. You just move past it. A lot of people can't do that. That's why they're regular people. But a fighter, whether you're in regular life or in the boxing ring or whatever you're dealing with, you move past it. But anyway, so it honestly felt unreal. Being the main event, I can't imagine how guys like Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder would feel when they're about to fight in front of millions upon millions. I can't even imagine that right now. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But I could definitely say I'll be ready for that in the future. But man, it was mind blowing just for Fox.
Yeah, I definitely get that, and yeah, man, you're gonna have to brace yourself even more, cause you're gonna be on pay
For
per
real.
view your next fight.
Yeah, this next fight is pay-per-view, but I'm not like the main guy. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess the
You,
really like
you,
beginning fight. You know what I
I
mean?
checked the
Lewis
card
Ortiz
order.
and
I
yeah.
checked the card order. Earlier today. You're like the third fight. So I mean, definitely not one of the main, co-main or main event, but definitely you have you're getting some exposure out there.
Big time.
Yep.
Big time. So I'm excited, like I said, I gotta make sure that, I prove myself again. It wasn't a fluke. You know what I mean? I'm coming to
Yep.
win again, period. Obviously, I believe Michael Carvey's gonna be training 10 times harder. He knows what to expect now. Me, I'm just my job is to get better than I was before. I can't I can't see it no other way. So that's what I'm focused on.
Dang. So you really felt that energy just being in a big fight, big main event like that. So all that is real, huh? Like the nerves.
All that is real, man. It was amplified. It was amplified. It's like, it's almost like if everyone's thinking about you, and there's a lot of people thinking about you, a lot of people, first of all, wondering who you are. It was a lot of people, mad that, first of all, I was a replacement. Ben Nas was going crazy, mad, disrespectful, like, oh, this guy just 10-1, which is cool because, all you really got to do is, even if Michael won on decision, 10-1, just 10-1. It don't really matter, you know what I mean? Even if I go out there and do what I normally do, survive or whatever, 10-1 is 10-1. It's still safe money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if a guy just, that's the beautiful thing about being a fighter. You decide, hey, I'm gonna do it this way this time. I'm not doing that BS no more. I'm a change, and can't nobody do nothing but respect you or watch you be the same person. You know what I mean? So that's that.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My first question for you, man. I just want to know what motivates you in boxing, and why do you love it so much?
Well, that's a good question. The motivation, I tell people all the time, jokingly, I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So you got to fight for the love of the people. You got to fight for the love of the money, the love of your family, which I'm hoping to start one day. But then sometimes you got that thing in every man, that ego, where it's like, I'm tired of people trying to call me, some big softy, some big teddy bear dude, you know what I'm saying? Now my ego won't kick in. And when my ego kick in, that makes you invincible. You know what I mean? So, it's definitely a bad side to everybody. So I try to keep my ego strong as possible. But the motivation is just kind of come from proving yourself, really, because, boxing chose me. If boxing ain't come find me, I would probably just been, like doing security, you know what I'm saying? Maybe trying to be like an actor or something like that. I've done Gatorade commercials. Maybe, it would have never been anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But me being a regular guy, I guess, maybe moving boxes in a warehouse. I am 6'5", mm-hmm. Maybe somehow being a teacher, which is always influential to life, so I might do that one day after boxing. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Who don't want to be motivated by the limelight? Really just to get the money, get the ladies, riches and glory, that superficial stuff. But why not, right?
Yup.
Yeah, I hear you. Just curiosity. When did you start boxing?
I was like 24. Started in this camp called All American Heavyweights. Michael King started it. Charles Martin came through that program, former heavyweight champion. So Michael King had this theory that a lot of the athletes that would be heavyweight champions are either playing football or basketball. So he went and scouted a lot of, big guys. The requirement was you need to be 6'2" or taller, 225 or heavier. So Charles Martin was one of those guys. Dominic Brazil. I think Gerald Washington kind of came around a little bit. Michael Hunter came in and beat up a few people just to beat them up and show them that size don't matter. That's when I first met Michael Hunter. But yeah, I was 24 when I started boxing. Even Deontay Wilder is a Division III basketball player.
Yeah, man, that's so. You don't ever think it's ever too late to start something like that?
No, only not like, okay. Here's that goes back to that debate with MMA and boxing. Mm-hmm. Okay, MMA, you got a whole bunch of levels to it as far as grappling, knees, elbows, kicks, all that. But in boxing is, to me, that's the real art of being a man, because you stand on your 2 feet. We're not animals that roll around, grab, kick, choke. We stand on 2 feet and we walk upright. So you stand on your feet and you fight with your hands. So it's more of a natural ability to where you can only get better and better or more elusive or more trickier with your 2 hands. So it's really never too late to start, because it's like, I'm only dealing with 2 hands. You know what I'm saying? It's me and you, man to man, 2 hands. You hit me, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to duck, whatever. It's like, obviously, too late is too late when you start to just get old. if you come in there with determination, 2 hands, I'm coming to hit you. Because Michael King kind of went after like the George Foreman mentality, how George Foreman started 2 months before he won the gold medal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Then he became world champion. We all know how crazy and good Big George was, but it was just like, yo, I'm coming to beat you up with my 2 hands.
I get you. I get you.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, and my other question for you, what are your main goals for your career?
Well, I'll be lying if I ain't say that I believe I can be world champion. I'm going to be world champion. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And again,
Yes, sir.
it's fight by fight. It's never what I've done in the past. Obviously you can look at what I've done in the past to hopefully learn from the, for the future. That's what you have to do. But when I look at myself and I'm like, okay, I'm 6'5", I'm 200 and, let's say 70 pounds, still trying to lose more weight. I do believe I'm athletic. I do believe, I have what it takes inside, especially I feed off of others as far as they're being inspired by them. I'm a huge Anthony Joshua fan. I mean, I'm such a fan. I didn't realize it. I bet money that Usyk was going to beat him because I sparred with Usyk before, who's only 6'3", by the way, 220 pounds. Obviously a gifted boxer, okay? But I felt like a Judas collecting my money. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at a Usyk take down Anthony Joshua and he's only 6'3", I'm like, shoot, I'm not that far off from these dudes. I just got to work a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? Or when I see Evander Holyfield take on every big dude there's ever been and win some and lose some, but he just fight on sheer heart. I'm like, that dude's nowhere near as big as me, but he has so much heart. It's like you look at yourself and you say, okay, I got all the right cards. I got to play them the right way. Size alone, I'm a threat. Athleticism, ability, I'm a threat. I got to take it to another level to be world champion, probably damn near death, but I could do it. And that's what I'm motivating myself to do. Or I wouldn't be in this game. I'll just get hurt.
Mm. Yeah, man, I definitely feel you on that. And now that you mentioned Evander Holyfield, that is kind of crazy. He was the smaller man in the heavyweight.
Smaller man. Never had a chance against Tyson, according to the bettors, too. Stopped him 10th round, 11th round, whatever. The whole ear bite. People don't even know Evander Holyfield until you say Mike Tyson bit the man's ear. Then they're like, oh, that dude. But that same dude was a killer warrior. Then you got, it is what it is. Maybe I might win heavyweight champion on the upset, like Oliver McCall.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys weren't picked to win, but they won anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, man. I feel you on that. I'm gonna remember this too. I see you in that title fight, man. Hey, I'm gonna bet on you, man.
You got to. I mean, even Hasim Rockman, he went to South Africa for 2 months, trained his ass off, beat Big Lennox Lewis. Of course, in the rematch, Lennox redeemed himself, but Hasim Rockman was still a world champion. It might be on an upset. I might not be the guy they picked, but it can happen even if you look at the history, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Big facts. And that leads me to my next question. With that being said, man, I know your goal is to get that world title.
World title.
Who do you think will be the biggest fight for you for that world title?
I mean, I have no clue. I mean, when I say that, obviously I'm going to have to look at who's running the show. Tyson Fury's running the show. I've been fortunate enough to get into that boxing ring with him. He's incredible. So it's like, yeah, I had to damn near train near death to rise to that level. And that's a fact. But do I think I can do it? Yeah. But it's going to take a lot of hard work. Not just hard work, but a lot of strategic thinking, a lot of observation. It's going to take like perfection, is what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not delusional. And then, of course, I'm always hoping Deontay come back. He's definitely carried the American heavyweight for these last years, and which was incredible. You know what I mean? So my heart goes out to him. I do believe he'll rise again, as far as he'll have to fight maybe AJ or Usyk, with his height, his range. Okay, he didn't really do nothing. He couldn't be Fury, okay, but there's other belts to be collected by other people, and he may even come back for Fury again. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like, I'm watching everybody at the top. We got YouTube. We didn't have YouTube back then, so I could study film all day, every day. And that's what I do my best to do.
Okay. What are some advantages that you feel that you have over Michael? Jumping back to, your upcoming bout, Michael, you already beat him before. You look faster. You seem to expose the defensive flaws that Michael has. But, what are some natural advantages that you think that you have over him?
I mean, well, I wouldn't say natural advantages, you know what I'm saying? I would say I'm looking at the film. Obviously, I watch it like at least 3 or 4 times a week, right? And I'm seeing things I want to work harder on. You know what I mean? It's almost like a study guide, Teacher give you a study guide, like to kind of tell you what's going to be on the test. You're looking like, all right, well, certain things I got to work more on. So obviously I'm going to work on my speed, be a speed drill. I hope to be faster than I was. I was work on, the skills, we got to work on the jabs, the combination punches, you know what I'm saying, the head movement. It's just the fundamentals, got to be work on a whole lot more fundamentals, a whole lot more stamina, you know what I mean? A lot more strength because, Michael Coffey was very strong. And, I need to be stronger for this fight coming up for sure. So I can be better prepared. So, and we're just going to let them punches fly and continue, like I said, just basically enhance everything you already saw. That's all I can really do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you're going to come in more confident, which can either help you or hurt you. Overconfidence will get you, knocked out. But hey, I say just come in more fundamental. When you're fundamental and you're confident, you're not going to get hit with some wild shot because you're fundamental first. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at doing, just being, more fundamental, more focused, and ready to put on an even better show, of course.
Yes, sir. What are your thoughts on the overall heavyweight division right now?
Oh my God, man, it's exciting, man. Honestly, we need more credit right now. I'm watching Michael Hunter last night. I'm watching him fight for dear life. Come to find out he broke his hand. You know what I'm saying? Do I think it was a draw? Yeah, I do. It was very close, and it was a beautiful fight to see guys go at it with everything they got. You know what I mean? And guys step up and go hard at each other. I'm also, like I said, I'm just blown away by Tyson Fury versus, Deontay Wilder trilogy. It was incredible. Then all of a sudden, Malik Scott steps up as the head coach, who I think is a genius, by the way. And it's just like all this stuff is incredible. Then, Anthony Joshua doesn't step aside, which most people thought he would, going against Usyk. But he said, nah, I'm going to fight. Definitely fought the wrong fight. I mean, if you're that big, fight this dude like you're Riddick Bowe, because you're not going to outbox Usyk. I think everybody knows that. You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing that. You got to use your size and weight, period, which I think he'll do in the rematch. So I just think the heavyweight division is very exciting, and it deserves more light because it's like we're witnessing a lot of great things happening right now. And it's like, man, y'all missing out. There should be more media coverage. Freaking Luis Ortiz is about to fight Charles Martin, 2 southpaws. Like, come on, man. This is crazy right now.
Yep.
Yes, sir, man. I definitely feel you on that, man. Boxing, man, the fights that's being delivered right now, as a boxing fan, I've definitely been entertained, man, these past few months, man. It's been great, and we got more fights to come up.
More fights to come up. It's crazy. It's going wild.
And you mentioned you've been in the ring with Tyson Fury. You sparred him before?
Yeah, it was definitely not fun. He even knocked me down, before that, that Tom Schwartz fight where he was just like unreal.
Yep, I remember that.
I got knocked down that camp. I'm like, dude, do not pull back. Because he exposed your habits. Like, if you're not extremely fundamental with him, you're going to get exposed real fast. And if you don't adjust, he's going to eat you alive. Because I swear to you, man, in one round, he'll fight like 3 different ways. And it's really, I mean, we all know styles make fights, but imagine a guy come out, he may press you for like the first 45 seconds. Like pressure you, like a Joe Frazier, but he's that big. Because he can put his hands up and come forward. He does that. Then he might box you for like 30 seconds, like, long range jab. And so you looking like, yo, he done switched up and you ain't realizing you still kind of like a pressure mode. You know what I mean? Then he just like lunge at you with some crazy long arm and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to really be on some different type of awareness, which is, to me, the savior is the fundamentals, where you handle everything in a fundamental way. So you never pull back, you step back. You know what I mean? So if I had stepped back, I would have been out of the way of his long looping hook. But you pull back and now you just got knocked down. You know what I mean? Like, you really can't make mistakes that are not fundamental. That's the biggest thing I got from him, being in the ring with him. You know what I mean? So it's just things like that really keeps you on your toes. Like, it just goes back to the fundamentals of boxing. It's very important. The skills got to be developed to get in the ring at these top level guys. And of course, your condition needs to be high too. You can't get in there not playing around with your conditioning. It's simple as that.
All right.
How many rounds did you guys spar?
Usually, the most I've ever done straight, right, was 5. You know what I mean? So then you got to realize that you got to go back home and run even more, because you only did 5 rounds with him and you about died and gassed out like crazy. You know what I mean? Because he'll bring another guy in. You know how most sparring camps, they'll have like 3 or 4 sparring partners and they'll rotate guys in to where, they want you fresh while they're getting tired, so they can fight tired. Because, when you're tired, you can still fight really well. Guess what? You already got the advantage. You know what I'm saying? Even if you notice how the commentators kept saying, oh, Tyson Fury looks, he can fight like 25 rounds. He tries to act like he tries to train like he can fight 25 rounds. As simple as that. Mm-hmm. But you can still knock a guy out ready to fight 25 rounds. Deontay almost did it. But it's just the fact that if you don't knock him out, he's going damn near fight 25 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But, he works hard, man. Everybody at the top works hard. There's no shortcuts.
And that's for my next question. It's about Tyson Fury. As great as he is, do you think he belongs with the in the conversation with the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time?
Yeah, he's on that path, but I think, for me, you got to get that undisputed belt. So, and that's what he's trying to do. I mean, obviously he deserves to be mentioned or in the conversation, but he still has to finish the job. And he gotta become undisputed. I think we all know that. Like I said, Deontay definitely started that movement. One face, one name. Definitely love it. Think, you gotta love guys like Deontay who has set the bar that high. But no one has done it yet and recently. So Tyson Fury's got to do that. He can do it. I feel like he can. I feel like all those guys at the top can do it right now, but they got to get it done. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury is the only man that has held all the belts recently, at least not at the same time, but you know what I mean? Like, he's held them. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But you got to hold them at the same time to become undisputed, which I believe they can do. He can do for sure. You got to just do it.
Right.
I feel you.
So what are your thoughts on the rest of the card? Obviously, we got Gerald Washington returning. Michael Coffey's original opponent, like you said, the main event, Charles Martin versus Frank's Ortiz. No. Charles Martin versus what was that? Brain fart. Was the guy
Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, Luis Ortiz. I said Luke, then I said Frank. My bad, but yeah, and we got Frank Sanchez. That's the guy that I meant to say. What are your thoughts on the overall, card that you're fighting on?
Man, that's an incredible.
Johnny, you went on mute. Johnny, you're on mute. Johnny, you went on mute.
See, he beat Effian Jocko. So I was like blown away by how explosive he was, how fast he was. He looked amazing. And of course, I lost to Effian Jocko. I just didn't really go out there and, obviously, who ain't gonna be shy of power, but you can't go out like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
That definitely crushed me. But Stu Franklin there was like, man, I ain't worried about none of that, and beat him. I'm like, wow. So he's fighting Carlos Negron. Carlos Negron, very fundamental guy, very good fighter. So I just feel like this card is going to be very exciting. I definitely think you're going to see a lot of knockouts. I actually trained with Gerald Washington like last week. So he's looking incredible right now. And he's working with a big dude named Patrick, the Samoan guy, who's, extremely good. So it's going to be, I just think it's going to be knockouts all night, to be honest with you. I don't really see these fights going the distance.
Gotcha.
None of them, to be honest. None of them. People going for knockouts, man.
Yep.
In the pay-per-view fight, I think it's only $30, which is like a big price drop, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty big price drop. I know a lot of people were complaining that it was on pay-per-view. I personally didn't have a problem with it because, the same people that are complaining about this being on pay-per-view are the same people that kind of sort of like that Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola fight, and that didn't even have a good undercard, and that was on pay-per-view. So right. I personally don't have a problem with it. We got some great heavyweight fights, kind of like the Triller show yesterday, but obviously pay-per-view, and we have some better guys fighting on that card.
For sure. And it's going to be knockouts, man. I don't really see these fights going the distance when you really look at them.
For sure.
Well, I know I'm going for a knockout. Shit.
Yep.
But I'm letting you know, I ain't come to do 10 rounds, but I'm going for a knockout, so that's facts.
Yep.
What are I just want to get your thoughts on the past fights and these upcoming fights for this weekend. Let's start off first with last week. What are your thoughts on Gambosis pulling the big upset over Teofimo Lopez?
I actually I was liking T.O. as far as how he was ranting and raving. I like the trash talk. I ain't that much of a trash talker. I definitely thought he was incredible, the moves he was making. It was a lot of controversy surrounding the whole fight. I honestly had it as a draw. It was too many close rounds, man. Obviously Gambosis ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? He's undefeated as well. To me, it was like, T.O. got knocked down early, then he came back and knocked him down. It was back and forth. It's much like when Charlo fought the other guy and had a draw. There was some close rounds. These guys fought their hearts out. I don't necessarily think it was a winner in that fight, but that's just me. I had it as a draw, you know what I'm saying? And he should have still kept his belts or whatever. But the excuses and all that, to me, it's like, man, they being real, they being upfront. And the T.O. like, I won. The referee did raise his hand, which was so weird. That's some funny stuff, The ref raised his hand, and so he's sitting there. And then the other, like, oh man, it's like you got to have controversy in boxing, and he unfortunately got the worst part of the controversy. But even though Gambosis was announced the winner, you can't argue with that. It was a split decision. You know what I'm saying? It was a fight that could have went either way. You see what I'm saying? So the way he acted, man, I respect the way he acted because he was real. He wasn't fake. You know what I'm saying? He was mad. So what? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You want to call him a sore loser? Shoot, he was angry and he let you know it, and I respect him for that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But it was a great fight, though. That's all I'm saying. It was a great, great fight. Could have went either way. I wish it would have been a draw for them both, but unfortunately, the winner was declared. You can't argue with that. You feel me?
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't see it as a robbery at all. It's just something that could have went all three ways and it went against T.O. That's all I can say.
Now,
what are your thoughts on this upcoming weekend's fights with Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz, and then Tank Davis and Isaac Cruz, Esau Cruz?
Well, with Devin Haney, obviously I get the extremely fortunate, opportunity to actually watch him train, and it's like when you see him, you like, yo, this is unreal. The level of work he's putting in is unreal. Like he trying to beat Floyd's legacy. That's what you really think to your head. Like he trying to surpass Floyd Mayweather. With everything he's doing, he's trying to do it to another level, literally. And it's like the things he's doing in the sparring, I'm like, bro, this don't make sense how great he is. Like, not just talented, but like, bro, he walk out the gym aching. Like, I'm like, what is, like, this dude working like a madman. Like, man, so, man, I feel like he gonna destroy Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz obviously throws a lot of combinations, which is incredible for how he fights, I think. But it's like Devin Haney's trying to surpass Floyd Mayweather. The man's on a mission, unbelievable mission. So I expect a win from him, a vicious win, a knockout. And that's just me from what I'm seeing. As far as Tank and the other guy, Cruz, right? Cruz, obviously, we know he's a pit bull. I honestly, feel for Rolly getting, kicked out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And, if he living wrong, he deserve it, but he ain't been proven guilty yet. So, you just got to be careful outside the ring. That's for everybody, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That really sucks for him if he acting like that, and hopefully we don't know. Maybe he not. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a terrible situation for him all around,
Right.
But Tank, obviously, Tank's gonna do his thing. We see how hard he trains as well. I didn't watch him train, so I don't know how. I'm not really can't give a first eye view. But do I think Tank gonna win? Yeah. That's just because I know him a whole lot more than the pit bull. You feel me? But it sounds like an exciting fight.
Hell yeah!
Now,
For real.
my final question: how does it feel? Well, you kind of already answered this question, but how did you feel fighting on pay-per-view? How was how do you feel going to your pay-per-view fight, and how excited were you when you got the call that you would be fighting on pay-per-view?
Hey, well, you know me, I'm that type of dude where it's like I'm generally trying to be more all ego. I'm trying to, I was surprised, that I was the main event again. You feel me? Because me, I ain't gonna lie, I struggled with confidence in the past. So it's like when you let Jonnie Rice win, that confidence to shoot through the roof. I'm just trying not to be delusional. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying not to be overconfident because I can't control it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Once it didn't start flowing like this, and I can't hold it back. So I'm like, I look at the freaking pay-per-view poster. They call me like, yeah, you gonna be on pay-per-view. I'm like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, send a contract, you feel me? Mm-hmm. They send the posters like 4 ugly dudes on the poster. I'm like, where am I at? I see my name down here. I'm like, I ain't reposting this, man. Like, what the fuck? Excuse me, friends. I'm sorry, we got kids and people. I'm like, yo, I'm supposed to be the main event again. Okay, but I ain't tripping, you know what I'm saying? I only one fight. So that's my other side. Like, yo, you only one fight, man. You ain't gonna be main event again. I'm like, why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm happy to be on this pay-per-view. This is, a huge opportunity, Like I said, it's just me proving myself again before they let me get too big-headed, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm like, dang, can the brother get a picture on the poster? You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Like, damn. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. January 1st, like I said, I take it fight by fight. You got to prove yourself every fight. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes, every fight. So I'm not worried about the last fight. It's brand new. Got to reprove myself. I'm not underestimating Coffee like I didn't before. I'm just trying to be a better me, trying to display a better me out there. That's all I'm trying to do.
Got you. Well,
Yes,
we
sir.
want to
Yes,
thank
sir.
you, Johnny. We want to thank you for coming on. And we want to thank you for your time. And guys, check Jonnie Rice out on pay-per-view, Fox Sports
Yes,
pay-per-view, January 1st. He's facing Michael Coffey again, and he will. If he didn't prove to the people that he is not an underdog, then he definitely will in this bout. Thank you, Johnny.
amen.